Jackie Kashian, Laurie Kilmartin.
Laurie, it's me, Jackei.
Hey, Jacqueline.
You're in a good mood because you're going to your home club.
Yeah, I mean, I picked this up in February, I think. Nice little surprise gig. And I'm going to do KRON. I'm going to do the afternoon show or the noon show.
Wait, you're not going to hang out with Korn, the band Korn, which is what I thought it was at
No,
one point.
I'm not. And so they want a detailed list of things I want to talk about. And I think I'm blaming Sam Morril because he's torched so many local news stations. But,
really?
but it's funny, but yeah, now I think they're all paranoid. What are you gonna say? But I'm psyched, because it's when it's like your home TV station,
Yeah,
you're like, oh my God,
yeah,
KRON, that's amazing.
Right, I know these guys. They're
From my
unmoved by me.
childhood. Yes.
Right. Well, no, I don't have that. I have
not the anchors, but the station has, since I remember being alive, KRON has always been in my life as an American who lives in the Bay Area.
I thought you meant something like that you had done it so many times, because whenever I would go back to Minneapolis and do KQ, the stakes were low, is what I'm telling you. I was like, it's fine.
Yeah.
That guy finally retired. And every time I was on that radio show for them over the last 20 odd years, he would ask me about something I said 20 years earlier, 15. It was like, remember, he'd always talked about the same thing. And I was like, there has to be. Isn't anything happened? No? All right,
that's like
fair
when
enough.
people go, what was it like writing for Tough Crowd? Well, I don't know. I mean, half the people on it are no longer with us. First of all, is there anything else in this millennium we could talk about?
Oh, right. It's true. Several of those people are dead. I am so sorry. I went to a funeral day before yesterday. I went on Saturday. Full Catholic, Irish Catholic mass.
Oh.
I was like, and they offered communion, and the priest, Father Ken.
He was when a father or like a nun's name. It's like, where did you come from? Just very quickly, we had an art teacher named Sister Paula, and I was like, what? She sounds like a gang leader. But she's cool. But tell me about Father Ken.
Father Ken, easily in his 60s. And
Jackie, so are we almost.
Right, but he was just like, but I mean, for Father Ken to be quite so, and yes, and much like ourselves, trying to connect with the Ute.
Oh God.
Yeah. So my friend Sean died, and her mom died 4 days later.
Oh my God.
And she had been taking care of her mother.
Debbie Fisher.
Yeah.
I mean, Debbie Reynolds. Holy shit.
Well, her mom was 93 and Sean was 69.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And her mom, Pat Shea, Patt, wrote on Archie Bunker's Place. She was one of the first women comedy writers, sitcom writers in the 70s. Yeah. And Sean was like not a showrunner. I forget exactly. It was some muckety muck on The Price is Right for 20 years until I think a little bit into Drew Carey's reign.
And at 67, she passed?
69, yeah.
69 from what? Do you know?
Just untreated chronic. She was just kind of not feeling. It reminds me of when Nancy, my stepmom, died. She was just kind of chronically ill, but didn't really look into it, and then would go to the doctor, and the doctor would be like, "Well, I don't know what it is," and then fell over dead. Very sad.
Oh my gosh! What an incredible mother-daughter team.
Right.
Honestly,
they were very much.
Before my mother got COVID, I'm like, am I going to be 70 years old living with a 97-year-old?
We're not talking about this. We're not. This is actually not a point of discussion. Thank you very much. I'm not. I hate ultimatums, but we're TikTok here. It's we're
what
getting
do you mean?
close. My mother.
Right.
So,
Oh, you don't want to even go into that territory. You don't
yeah, I
want to dip
can't.
a toe. You don't want
No, I
to
can't.
think.
To discuss that, I will either burst into tears or just have Tourette's.
I had that very writing in this very notebook 4 years ago, or a different notebook on this very couch. That same like, what the fuck? What if this never ends?
Right. Feels finite, my friends, and it doesn't mean I don't love everybody.
Or infinite.
I got here's a comedy related topic. Well, first of
Okay.
all, did I tell you that okay, so I did Largo last week. I think I was doing it the night that I think I did it the Wednesday, and I
Right.
hadn't done it
Right.
when we recorded. So, it was amazing.
Right.
And one of the younger comics who was on the show, there's a lot of up and coming young comics, and this woman, Laura Peak, I believe she's been a comic of the week.
Yeah, she's in our chat, Jackie.
Laura Peak's in our chat?
Yeah, she doesn't weigh in a ton, but yeah, she's there.
Okay.
Popping her in and out.
One of the greatest jokes, and I'm just going to tell you the setup of it because it's kind of meta, which is a guy came up to her after the show and said that she was his favorite female comedian.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, well, you don't have to say female. And the punchline after that, and the two punchlines after that, you got to go find yourself some Laura Peak, is what I'm telling you, you guys. Because it's
Jackie,
fucking outstanding.
You can't type it in the little fucking chat so I can enjoy it right now. You have to leave me in the same position as the audience, for God's sakes.
Okay. The guy. Okay. So, okay. All right, I'm back.
Well, you can tell us during the break, I guess. You're gonna type it,
right? I'm just gonna type it. The guy said,
"It's exciting.
We might need to tighten this part up, Kyle."
Yeah, there's a good chance of that.
That's funny. That's funny. Hilarious and true.
And then she said that.
That's a great tag.
That's great. Yep.
So there you go. So those are that. And then Ellen Harold, is it? I believe Harold. She hosted, and she had a premise about her dad, who I guess was a bit of a cokehead and a bit of a mess.
Wow.
And she was like, he was a good dad. He would always pick us up and it was just the beginning of the joke, so I'm going to tell it. But her name is Ellen Harold. Find her, book her, throw her some money. But she said he would pick us up from school. I mean, he would do it without his shirt on, and we didn't really know what he did for a living, but whatever it was, he was obviously skins.
I like it.
So those are my two favorite jokes that I've heard this week. And the other thing that happened was this very day, which is, I believe, a Monday, a club owner texted me to ask me if he should book a guy. Guess what? If you are asking, no.
Well, because the guy is
I've typed the club guy, and I've typed the guy.
Oh, okay, interesting. I mean,
and I was like, I'm not here to not get somebody work. How about that? Why don't you realize that that's going to be a lot of work, and that's up to you.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. I'm all for getting women work. Now, oh, Jackie. So, okay, so last week was kind of crazy. So in New York, right? Spot. And then I think we did a podcast from when I was in New York, right? And then Tuesday, I did Sherry's show. I did a set on Sherry. And
right, I really like that jacket. Nice work.
Thank you. I got it at Nordstrom Rack at Union Square before my shows at the Stand the night before. So I got 7:30 pickup. Took a car. It would have been way faster to take the subway, but when someone offers you a car in New York City, I don't care if you're only going to block, you take it. You just take it.
Yeah, take the car.
And plus, I had a bunch of options, outfit options. So I had like a suitcase full of stuff. So, so yeah, I was put into the Joan Rivers room. They have different rooms named after different female comics.
Oh.
And Joan's room has a lot of index cards of her jokes, that
Oh,
she
wow.
probably bequeathed or, somebody, gave, I guess Melissa gave.
Or somebody stole
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
That'd be
Stolen.
really
Yeah.
rude. You just go to the card catalog, grab a handful, and all of a sudden she's like, "Where are the D's?
Where are the dick jokes? They're gone." So, and then, a lot of costume jewelry. I'm assuming it's some of her stuff that she sold on QVC or whatever. And then the set was really, they're just like super professional, really well run. They want upbeat, that's fine. I got some upbeat jokes. I don't, we didn't get too dark or anything. And you kind of just tell it to Sherry, and then the audience is behind the camera. So, it's not exactly like a stand-up set, but it was really
No,
fun.
it was panel. It was I saw that it was panel stand-up. Nice work.
Basically, yeah. So she makes it really easy, and she's great, and she's a great laugher, and just really, really well done show. She has a lot to memorize. She does like a 20-minute monologue up top, which is it's on cue cards, but you can't. It's not like jokes. It's like stories. So you have to put your personality into it.
And it's done live?
Yeah. Now she did 2 shows, taped 2 shows on Wednesday. So she had a second one. So she had like 40 minutes of monologue to do on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Plus whatever she had to do with various guests. George Lopez and his daughter were on right before me, and they like played a golf game or something like that.
Okay.
Lopez's hair is like crazy right now. It looks really good.
Okay.
And he wished me good luck, and I said, "Nice to meet you." We, exchanged pleasantries, and then it's a pretty good set. And then I clipped out the one joke, about Gen X men.
Oh, right. I saw that.
It has over 500,000 angry views.
Excellent.
I had to
hit 500,000. 500,000 will do.
I had to turn off comments because so many men were coming in furious, taking it serious, and it was just depressing.
Older men.
Yes, who I'm guessing
feeling like you were talking about themselves.
Exactly. Many defending themselves as if I had said their first name and last name in the sentence.
And that you wanted to date them. All of that. And you're like, you are mistaking me for someone who actually wanted to date you. Because I don't.
Like, they take things, it's like, hey, I'm a comedian. These are jokes I tell in a nightclub. I'm actually not talking to you or about you. And I don't know you. Like, they take shit so personally. But anyway, so that was fun for a little bit, and then it got just like ponderous because
it's just exhausting because it's the same comment.
It is the same
hundreds of times.
Yes, by different guys coming at you, but it's the same Hydra, it's the same monster.
Right, and they're not checking anybody else's comments.
No, right.
They're just going on and going, well, what do you know?
And then
about?
Yeah. Then when you reply, then they're apparently shocked that anyone replies, and then there's like 18 more comments from that reply because they're like, oh, she knows my name, right? So that was fun and draining. Couple 2 days, and then I came back on Tuesday. Oh, I did her show Tuesday morning and flew back on Tuesday evening. So Tuesday was a long day. And then I think Wednesday or Thursday, I guess Thursday. No, Friday was my first paid set as a paid regular at the Comedy Store. So I was in the OR in the original room. That's the black room. I always think of them as the black room and the red room, but they're the OR in the main room. And
the original room, is that the one in the middle?
Yes.
What's the one with the high? That's the red room?
The red room is the main room. And that's the bigger
that's
one.
with the higher. Yeah. That's with the higher stage. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Got it.
Yeah. And so the OR has the pianist. You have a little musical accompaniment. It's fun. And Moshe brought me up with
Moshe Kasher?
With way too much of an intro. Someone just say, our next comic is whatever. Just like,
But was he psyched for you? Was he just a
yeah,
happy?
yeah. But it was
Yeah.
just like, no, that's not.
I love you.
Just
You're
take
actually
it down a couple notches.
it's a lot.
Okay, please.
You're not. Please don't introduce me as Jesus.
Yeah. So so yeah, it was pretty cool. Saw Sharon Mahoney. She was hanging out, and so that was fun. And then
Did you get to park in the back?
I got to park. Now, Jackei, I I think I have by far the oldest car in the lot. It's a 2009 Corolla, as you know. A
Your
lot of the
mom's, I
people that
believe.
park in the lot are, making Lexus money. And
Well, the thing is you were making Lexus money and absolutely never gave a shit.
I didn't no, I don't spend it on cars.
No, cars are not your jam.
No.
I have been trying to get you to get a new car since 2009. We didn't have a podcast in 2000.
We
Yeah,
didn't
we
know
did.
each other in 2009.
16. That's right. We didn't know each other.
Yeah. But yeah, well, if I had been making Lexus money, I wouldn't have I have the savings I'm living off of right now. So I'm glad I saved whatever Lexus money I have, because I am plundering it right now as I inch along month by month, praying. As I got another fallout, I'm doing the Laughing Tap in June, right after I'm June 5th and 6th. I'm in Portland. I'm doing Helium on the 5th. The 6th, I'm doing Livewire. Then I fly from there to Milwaukee and do the 7th and 8th at the 10th.
All right. Fun. That's in June, right?
What? Yes.
No, that's literally just thinking about me as per usual. So
yes,
sorry.
I know. I saw your eyes go out.
Well, that's only because right? It's only because I am from there.
Right.
And so the 7th and 8th, you're going to be in June 7th and 8th. You're going to be in Milwaukee.
Yes.
I too will be in Milwaukee.
No, are you serious? Are you doing that series of?
I'm doing the Mary Mac run, the wild
right.
ass wander around Wisconsin run. So yeah, we'll do some content.
Yes.
We'll let's do some Patreon content.
And that's a good idea.
And some people can hang. That's awesome.
Yes. And then I sent my ongoing, attempt to woo Esty at the cellar. So I sent her my Sherry set, and she's like, I just want to make, like, she's got to see me in person. That's the bottom line. She won't book me.
So she just wants you to do a drop in at the cellar.
So when I'm in Vermont, I'm bookending it with a couple nights in New York. So on the Sunday after Vermont, I'm flying home pretty early, and I'm going to drop into the brunch show at the cellar on Sunday afternoon.
I did that one. It was actually quite fun.
I'm sure it is.
And completely sold out, which I could not have been more surprised.
Holy shit.
But it was great.
They are just making
they're printing money. They're printing money over there. It's great.
It's
and
incredible.
the food is really good.
Oh yeah. I mean,
the food was so good.
The tabbouleh, I still have been searching for tabbouleh.
No, they have bagels and it was just
oh, you're talking the brunch thing. I'm talking upstairs from the olive tree. The tabbouleh has been my favorite since I ever tasted it. And I keep trying other taboulehs all over the place, and they don't match what I tasted at the olive tree. So, well,
live it up.
I'm hoping to be able to get half price off that, Jackei, one day again.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, because I had worked the cellar a long time ago, and then when I sat down a couple of years ago and I was hanging out with some comics and I got charged full price for a meal, I was like, this fucking business. So if I can go back to my half price ways, well, that'll be nice.
Well, and the brunch food is free. The food is free for brunch.
Okay.
So get yourself some tabbouleh to go.
Yes, I will.
That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did Bar Lubitz, and
Lubitsch.
It was
I think
Lubitsch.
we had this conversation.
Yep, because I don't care, because I call it Bar Lube, and don't know. I can't face it.
I won't stop
Whatever
you.
it is, I show up, and there's never enough lighting, and there's never anywhere. The seating for comics is uneven, and but it was so lightly attended because of Coachella.
Oh,
I think
that's what I heard. Yeah, I heard that was a big problem.
It was awesome,
this year.
And I'm not even kidding. Ellen Harold and I think 3/4 of the audience of probably 20 people, I think were
Yeah.
there. Maybe 15. It was light. They were all 27.
Weird.
Weirdly 27. Yes.
Did you
And
guess their ages again?
I guessed I was just talking to Ellen before my set, and I was talking about because everybody looked 27.
Yeah.
And I said that, and she goes, "I'm 27." And I said, "Uh-huh." And then I told her about how I've met like 3 or 4 27-year-olds in the last year who've told me they're going through trauma therapy. And at first I was judgmental because they all have such good dental. And then I realized that 30 years ago, the 24-hour news cycle was invented. And then I remembered why they all have trauma therapy, because you can't fix anything in Indonesia when you're 4. But you keep seeing the thing about tsunamis and earthquakes and
I see.
Suharto and Sukarno, neither of which existed at that time. But
wow, Jackei, that's a deep cut into
it's a deep cut
Indonesian
into the history of history.
Fascism. Yes.
Right.
Politics.
Right, but the set was actually super fun. And so that was great. And then I had a weird Zoom meeting with a woman in Nashville who's written a script and wants me to act in it, where I would play a flat earther. And I said, I am 112% on board.
Well cast.
Typecasting, as I said to her. That's why we're running out of water. Okay. Because it's all draining off the edges of the earth. Yeah. And then I did a crow show. Have you ever done the upstairs crow?
Yes, I have. I did tell a showbiz story, and I had to swear everyone to secrecy because it was very.
It's hard to swear 45 people to secrecy.
Well, they haven't said anything.
It was me. It was a great lineup. Aparna went after me, and
what was the show? Whose show was it?
The premise was, it might get a little dark.
Oh,
that was the name of it.
Cool.
And Aparna told a joke about chocolate, and then she said, "It might get a little dark." So I giggled at that particular. She threw it out. I liked it. And then I did Good Heroine.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and that was super fun, as per hosted by Rob Hayes, who is on this week's Dark Forest.
Yeah,
HAZE. Ralph
Macchio?
Ralph Lauren. But he says it's pronounced Ralph Lauren.
Yeah.
But all I know is that his original name was Ralph Lipschitz. And if my last name was Lipschitz, I would change it to anything, including Lauren or Loren.
Yeah.
And he told me about the history of Ralph Lauren because that was his dorkdom, was that fashion. And the first big break that Ralph Lauren got, I guess, was the Annie Hall tie. Diane Keaton was wearing a tie, and it was a Ralph Lauren. It was a polo tie.
Do you remember when she was nominated for Best Actress? We were little at this point, you and I.
I just watched Kyle sigh in the microphone.
It was in the direction of Annie Hall, at least.
I'm not saying it. Anyway, ask me your question, said Laurie. I'm sorry.
At the Oscars, I remember this because they put the scene for her, because she was nominated for Best Actress. The scene was the lobster scene, where she and Woody Allen are laughing in the kitchen about the lobster.
Oh,
I remember
the live dead lobster. Yeah,
she's laughing. How is that acting? I was really angry.
Right. They didn't give her even a couple of lines.
I was angry
that would have been great.
At Woody Allen for the wrong reasons, but it was the right feeling. I did the show for Danny Levy in Agora Hills.
Okay.
And it's at a winery, and I guess they do it once a month. And it's a couple miles off the freeway, and then all of a sudden you're like in the backwoods of Malibu.
But it's still Agora Hills?
It's gorgeous, yes. Yes.
Okay.
And
Is it off of Canaan?
There's
Is it
peacocks
towards the
all
ocean?
over the place. The peacocks were cawing or whatever the noise is called that they make during the show.
Irritant. Yes.
And I almost backed into a peacock, and it didn't even like move. It was more like
didn't blink.
It didn't
like,
blink. It
come
was
and
like,
get me.
Yeah. You break, not me. I'm like, all right, but you're lucky I saw you. But it was funny because you were talking about the lighting, because the show has a blue spotlight.
Oh, weird.
It is weird, but it was fun to make fun of. But it was like, yeah. And then let's see. Today I have a huge agave that is dead. It's dying, so it's like it's sprouted like 30 feet high and has little puppies all over it. Little pup agaves.
Yeah.
And it's starting to fall over, like a giant pineapple starting to tip over the base. So I've been sawing and cutting, and again,
wow.
Back in the old Lexus money days, I would have hired a gardener to do this,
person
but not now. I'm sawing myself out there, and I'm afraid of blades, so everything is really dull because I don't like sharp blades. So it's like fucking taking forever to get this stuff done. But I've
that a
gotten
sharp
most of it.
blade. I'm just gonna. You're familiar with the idea that a sharp blade will work correctly the first time and is safer to work with? Have you been told that?
Here's the thing. You're sawing and you have this momentum, and then it breaks through, and that saw goes down into your leg. If it's a dull saw, you're not going to have that much.
Are you sawing using your leg as the table?
Well,
please don't do that.
That's
dull blade or not, that's going to hurt. I have been out in the garden myself. Yes.
Yes. No, I did put together a sawhorse. I told you this, right?
I don't think so.
I left a terrible review because the directions were horrible, and that's all the reviews were, how horrible the directions were. You had to fucking figure it out yourself, this sawhorse. But it's pretty good once you get it going. It's like, oh, okay.
Good.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, well, I bought bugs for the garden.
Okay.
Because we have 2 bug problems at this juncture because of how much rain there's been.
Ooh.
We have earwigs and we have snails.
Oh.
We have snails and we have earwigs. Those are 2 of the grossest bugs in the world.
Why don't I have snails?
I don't know, but you want snails?
No, but is it because of the kind of vegetables you're growing? And I don't know what an earwig is.
An earwig looks like a gigantic ant with pinchers.
Oh.
It's really disturbing. And and they're in the house, which means that they might be in the wood, which means that they might actually be termites. I don't really know what a termite looks like, and I don't want to look it up because we'd all have to relocate if it were termites, and I don't know where we'd go.
Jackei, I had to do that last year.
Was
Remember
it last year?
I had to tent it?
Oh,
tent the house?
Yeah.
Ugh, it's expensive.
Oh, it is expensive.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Well, that might be a termite. What the fuck? That's a king termite? Ugh, that'd be a drag. We should probably have somebody come.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, but we got the rest of I got the garden in. I bought a couple new cucumber plants.
Yeah.
And I saw that either aphids or something were eating my eggplant plant. So I went and bought, this is a great story, went and bought some ladybugs.
Oh.
And it was free ladybug weekend. So they gave me an extra thing of ladybugs.
Oh, nice.
And so we get a lot of ladybugs now, so that most of them fly away, but they fly away after eating all of the aphids in your, probably a month ago, I bought praying mantises, and I've not seen any praying mantises. So either they all died or they didn't like my backyard. They went to somebody else's backyard.
Why did you buy the praying mantises?
Because they will eat, not only will they eat aphids, I think they'll eat snails. Andy doesn't think so. But I think they'll eat anything. I've heard that they will eat, like, even those June bugs. Those giant...
what will eat snails? The French.
I'm salut, je m'appelle Jacqueline. Si j'étais un garçon, j'irais en zizi. Yes.
A couple French people at your DIY.
I'm gonna go to Armstrong Garden Center, see if they're selling the French. I am let's see. And then I bought a couple of buckets of worms, and I put worms in the dirt as well.
Oh,
So
yourself with your own hands?
a shaking motion. And then I threw extra dirt on top of the worms, because that's what worms like. Worms like a little dirt on top of them.
Sure.
Because they don't want to be up and about.
Right.
Oh, Kyle is yawning. He's not wrong.
We don't force people to listen to this podcast. They do this of their own volition. And honestly, I wish they'd stop so we could stop.
Or just send us Lexus money, and then we'll definitely stop.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Beth Stelling was at the Good Heroine, and she was super funny.
Yeah.
She had a great set. She went up after me.
She had some clip I just saw with, I think, Mo Welch on a podcast about how women, what they're doing to, not age. It's all the same stuff. And so everyone's trying to look alike. And she's like, can we just do pencils down? And everyone just stop whatever they're doing. I thought that was really funny.
Oh, that's great. It's I was talking to her. I was like, did you recommend me for an animated series? And she goes, yeah, Strange Planet. And I go, oh, thank you so much. And she goes, yeah, wherever I am, I'll recommend you. And I was like, well, then you are part of the team that I appreciate, quite honestly, because I love that webcomic too, that Strange Planet.
Mm-hmm.
Someone said that he said something mean once and that we shouldn't listen to him. I don't believe you. Because he's such a nice guy.
Who?
Maybe the guy who does the webcomic.
He said something
for Strange
mean about
Planet.
us?
Mean about somebody.
Okay.
And thus there was trouble.
Oh,
but
I see. Right.
someone was mad. And then I was like, but I'm not. And as I was explaining to somebody, I did a show 2 weeks ago at the Improv.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeff Ross was on the bill.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on a flyer with Jeff Ross. And I don't want to be on a flyer with Jeff Ross.
Right.
That's not my ideal. And someone was like, well, should you be taking work? And I was like, oh, I should definitely be taking work.
Do not come after women taking work, especially in the stand-up scene. Never, ever, ever.
Yeah, because it's not my job to fix men again and consistently
also,
and
the
forever.
Audience will be grateful to have your voice, because there will be some people going, "Is that the guy?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
oh, they will be great. Yeah. That's true. That's an excellent point.
Yeah.
Hey, let's take a quick break if that's
okay.
Cool. And then let's talk about that comic of the week, Laurie. What do you got?
Oh, yes. So I just worked with her this week. Oh, did you know there's a comedy club called the Hollywood Comedy? It's on Melrose. It's way down on Melrose, like to the east of the Improv. And it's kind of like a little hole in the wall, but it's really cute. And
good.
So she had a show.
Did it?
I did. She put me on her show and she filled the room, and she's very funny. And her name's Yoshihara. AI, first name, Yoshihara, second name. And she's funny, and she has some really funny TikToks or Instagrams as well.
Cool.
So I would check her out if I were you.
Nice.
Yeah. And so, she's really good. And I've only met her, I guess, in the last 6 months, I think, really.
And what's her handle on the Instagram?
AI _ comedian. So it's at AI _ and then comedian.
Thank you. Yes.
Oh, she got bits on it.
Artificial
and they're real funny.
Intelligence like AI?
I went and looked it up because I had that same thought, and there they were, because she's a professional. No, she knows what's up.
It's not a hobby. Not a hobby.
Yeah,
good for her.
She's aware, Jackie. She's aware. But yes, her first name is spelled AI.
Yeah. Grammacation, just checking in. And now it'll be easier for people to find it, because I've come forward. I ask the questions so that people don't have to. That's what the Dork Forest is entirely about.
Sure.
Because I mix up Polo and La Costa is there's nothing wrong. I'm
Wait, polo is a sport and Lacoste is a.
They're both fashion. One's Ralph Lauren and the other one is
I see.
Izod Lacoste
Okay.
or Lacoste. Yeah. And I can't pronounce any four of those words, so we all win. And okay, you know what's happening this week? I believe it's this week. Tammy Pescatelli's coming to town.
Oh yeah.
Former comic of the week. We're gonna have breakfast.
Cool.
On the Friday.
I would like to hear. I would because I heard what her WTF was really fun, and she had a very narrow miss, very very close call with Vince Champ, which was really creepy to hear about. You know.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah,
I bet. Did you have to share a condo with him?
I think so. But also,
he was heyday of condo.
He was also, like specialized in raping college girls. So I don't think, because she was known in his group. I mean, that was his target.
Right. He wasn't doing someone who wasn't a victim.
Yes.
He was searching victims.
Right. Somebody that wouldn't know him and wouldn't, be able to identify him and stuff anyway. But but she was talking about, because she, went off to Pennsylvania to raise her kids. And she's also, there's a lot of us that are kind of close to done with the child rearing part. Like we're all, and Zarna Garg, I just saw had a reel about her kids. One of them's out and one of them's almost out of the house. Felicia, of course, both of her boys are out. And so there's a lot of us that are about to be re-unleashed on the scene.
Do you want to talk to Byron Allen?
Do I want to talk to Byron Allen?
About being released?
Leashed? Gotcha.
To be unleashed?
No, Jackie, I don't.
Just riffing. No, can't possibly.
I'm sorry that happened.
Too funny.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's just interesting. I feel like a bunch of female comics had kids in the 2005 to 2007 time frame. A lot of us, and it's
you have compatriots. Yes, you do.
Yeah,
and now you're going to have competition.
Oh, Jackie, it never ends. But you know what? People keep putting up more clubs. They are the amount of clubs is increasing, which is really interesting. Yeah. I don't know. Is it sustainable? I guess we'll know in 10 years. But
all I know is I'm reteaching myself how to book myself. And the good news is because I booked myself in some real rural stuff. It's all in the works. Some vaguely South Dakota. Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Illinois. I'm just booking stuff because nobody else is. So I'm just figuring out, and I might be able to get rid of some of these CDs and DVDs. I might bring them on the road with me because people got CDs and DVDs in the middle of Nebraska. People got DVD players, CD
Jackie,
players.
Bring a mixtape. I mean, bring it all.
I'm going to bring a Frenchman. I'm going to bring just a Frenchman to say words for me.
To eat snails.
And eat snails.
Well, I wonder why is it right now with PA, personal appearance agents, like if you aren't making $10,000 a week, they're not interested, right?
Right.
Which I guess I can understand for the upper echelons, but aren't there mid-range people that would, take those of us who are making less than $10,000 a week, but we're making still money? It's still worthwhile, worth your time if you can, get us work. I don't know. Why is it all or nothing with these PA people?
Well, here's a guy that you should avoid.
Okay.
I'm awake.
I have Kyle's attention, you guys. There you go.
Don't know him.
Well, that's then I've come in time. Because I got other friends who are repped by that dude, and it's not working out. There's personality issues, and there's also interactive issues where it's the guy's been in the business for 30 years, and nobody likes working with
okay.
them very much. So,
Well,
note to self, sister.
well,
And
we're
I'm just filling
new
stuff in.
people.
Go ahead.
We're new
Oh,
people.
right.
We're
Right,
new
right.
PA agents. There's a bajillion comics and there's new comedy clubs. Why is there just like the same three people that have been in the business for 30 years booking
Yeah.
select acts and not others, you know? There's
Mm-hmm.
room for growth for somebody who wants it.
Mm-hmm. It's true. But I don't know. I don't know how to I've never known how to really sort of all I've known how to do is book like I could and I've only had a really active PA agent for the last 5 or 6 years, maybe 7. And so it's not that for the previous 30 years or 20 odd years that I was working the road hardcore, I did it myself.
Yeah.
And though for many of those years I also had a day job, and I don't want to have a day job anymore. It
Right.
sounds depressing. But I also don't want to be above having a day job. And just think if I can grind it out, if I can get it done and do it right, I can get rid of these CDs and DVDs that are in my closet or that are in my my garage. That'd be great. So
yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people are fantasizing about what their day job would be. What after, if you've been a comic for 30 plus years, how are you going to fit back into the box that a day
of a
job,
day.
you know,
Well, it's that or live outdoors, and so I think I'd probably organize my ego around that.
somebody posted that they like to work in the post office, and I'm like, yeah, you know, a nice
I got a
government
buddy
job.
who temped at the post office, and he
Yeah.
said the numbers actually almost drove him mad.
What numbers?
Because one of the initial jobs, like the entry level jobs, is sorting mail by zip code into different numbered slots. So it's
Okay.
all numbers all day and different numbers. And he said that it made his brain fry. He couldn't sustain it.
Sure. I imagine a lot of it's being sorted because differently now because people are printing their postage before they send it, something instead
Right,
of
and there's a
handwriting
lot
it.
of recognition. There's a lot of recognition software too, which is something. Yeah, very possible.
It's weird that like, I mean, I'm just watching writers on Twitter. People just who are like, oh, show business is not restarting like we thought it would. You know, like you and I and anyone that can work the road has a way to make some kind of living now that a
Right.
lot of these other people don't have. And even though it's like very unstable and you can't count on anything, it's something. It's so weird
Right.
that stand-up comedy is more stable. But
right, a friend of mine got a couple of rewrite jobs for Nickelodeon.
Nice.
So
yay! Cool.
So re-upped their
Yay.
their insurance. So that's good.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad to hear it. I saw that person a couple nights ago at
awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
So but it's just weird to go. I wonder what kind of little government job I could do just to get some health insurance, just to keep it until I hit 65. Right? Then we can get Medicare. And then it's smooth sailing from then till death, Jackie.
Did you see Civil War?
Did.
See the new Civil War movie?
I did.
I did not.
Did you?
It's quite loud.
Oh
yes,
my God, I heard it was loud.
I banged that ceiling and tried to, and they
on
would
purpose.
not.
Like it's louder than normal action.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I don't know. The metaphor seemed like it might work, but it didn't. I was trying to skate past it. Glad you found it.
I heard it was that it was chilling and that it was actually effectively
it's very interesting visually. I think it does a beautiful job really kind of showing like, okay, I could see this looking like this in a way that like is pretty unsettling. It's shockingly apolitical on the whole, but there is some real pulse pounding stuff. And I will say that the movie should be called War Photography is an Insane Job, but that doesn't have quite the same sexy conversation about it, because that's what the movie's actually about, is that war photographers are psychos. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's interesting.
Well,
Yes.
should I buy a gun to
Yes. Every person
to shoot
who
fascists?
doesn't like fascists should buy guns and
Okay.
shoot fascists. I'm the one who's going to have to cut that out.
Oh, fuck.
And I have to say, it was Brian Regan does this joke about how there's 306. There's supposedly a gun for every single person in this country, and then he pauses and he goes, which makes me think that somebody must have two. Because I don't have one. And it makes me, and it's so funny whenever he talks about anything, and he's not even being political. He's just literally just talking about something that's out in the world. It's a thing that everyone is addressing. And they tighten up on him anyway, and then they feel better. The release is even greater. So he loves it. So hey, let's take another break real quick.
Okay.
Yeah. So
well, yeah, listen, guys. We're both. It's one of those nights. I am at the Punchline tonight through Saturday. Send your friends. Take Bart in.
Send your enemies. Yeah.
Yeah, send any man who's angry at me. Send them in. I will convert them one by one into Laurie Kilmartin fans.
They can buy tickets online. They can buy tickets at the door.
They can buy.
They can buy merch. You bringing merch?
I'm bringing my eye shade.
Masks?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Nice. Eye masks.
Yeah.
And nice.
Yeah. And excited for that. I have like 4 full days there. It's not like those little tiny weeks. I wish it started on Tuesday, but I will have a full Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday there in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
In our favorite little hotel.
Have fun.
Which hotel I'm staying in, but it's the
Is
little
it that
cute
same
one we
hotel?
left. Yeah.
I've never, it's not my home club.
Yeah.
So you've stayed at it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Are you bringing your son?
I am not.
No,
he
he's got school, right?
He's enrolled in school, as all minor children are, Jackie.
Yeah, but sometimes you'd pull him out if he got to see a
For
grave or
a
something. Come on. No, if there was a local grave, or like he could go see some place where an Irish person had a thought. Come on.
What do you mean if? That's where my parents are buried, Jackie.
Right.
So no, I will bring him up in the summer. I'm gonna work the Deaf Puppy Comedy Club in Manteca in July. So I'll bring my son up for that one, and hopefully we can go to the consulate, the Luxembourgish consulate, and get our passports renewed in case we have to flee military service here in the United States.
Sure.
Yeah.
I just finished a nonfiction book recommended by one of my mystery writers in an interview. Reads like fiction, which made me find out that it has actually been fictionalized and turned into a TV show on MGM Plus, which made me buy MGM Plus.
What's it called?
It's called Rogue Heroes, and it's about the founding of the SAS in the British Army during World War II, written by Ben McIntyre. And it is quite the book and the show. The show does pretty good justice to it. The book reads like fiction. These people, during the beginning of in 1939, 1940. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, is it like does that include the code breakers and all that kind of stuff, or does that come later?
No, this is North Africa special forces. Special forces was essentially, for modern warfare, was created by these complete lunatics who didn't want to be in the army but wanted to be in the army. Right? So there are a bunch of British guys who are like, one guy is like, he gets all of these bad news bears, like misfits and everyone who's ever been disciplined. And he's like, he tries to teach them how to parachute. Half of them die.
Wow.
Like learning how to parachute during World War II, which is how it happened.
Yeah.
So many people died.
Oh,
because they didn't know how to do it. So they were like, well, just jump, and then when you land, roll. And they broke their necks, and they felt the chutes didn't open.
That didn't occur to
Hundreds
me.
and hundreds and
Holy shit.
hundreds of men just plummeted and fucking died. And I remember the first time because I had a little too much World War II history in the last probably 4 years since lockdown.
Yeah.
And because I got sucked into BritBox and Acorn and like Endeavor and Foyle's War. I mean, 1,000 different ones, and Bletchley Circle.
I gotta get BritBox. Okay.
You gotta get BritBox
I
and
would love
Acorn.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but Rogue Heroes is on MGM Plus, and as far as I can tell, it's the only thing on MGM Plus, so I don't recommend it. But why don't I just lend you the book?
Did you see? I know you haven't watched this yet. Baby Reindeer.
No, but I heard somebody told me that they watched it and it was fascinating.
It's really good. I couldn't stop watching it. I couldn't stop. I watched the whole thing. It's like 6 episodes, 25 to 30 minute episodes, and it's about a comic. A guy who ended up doing this show in Edinburgh, but the way he's portrayed himself in the series, he's like a really, really hacky prop comic who has a stalker that he also sometimes encourages and is in a weird relationship with, and then you find the backstory of why he can't have a normal relationship, and it's a sexual assault, and it's really, really good. It reminds me of I May Destroy You, and it just makes you go, wow, but like I don't know if it's Britain, I don't know if it's the BBC, but Britain seems to allow these comedy people to make these really, really dark short series with the backstory that.
Did you ever watch Game? Now you watch more of that than I do. Have you seen Game Face?
No. Mm-mm.
It's a sort of meta comedy thing with Roisin Connolly.
Okay.
And it's supposed to be great. I want to watch it, but I haven't seen Jack.
Wow.
So yeah.
I feel like they get all these different options in the UK, whereas like you and I are still trying to work the same clubs we've been working for like 30 years. You know what I mean? Like trying to stay in or trying to stay a part of show business, and they just keep going to, I don't know, they just seem to have other avenues that are offered to them.
I don't work on that as much as you do, though I would like to do it. I just sadly haven't done any of the legwork to get into any sort of scripts, but I'll play your Flat Earther. Sure, I'll do it. I'm not above it.
Cool. No, I just mean it's like it seems to be very open sort of place in that way for comics that want to pitch other things and do them and get them made. I can't imagine either of those two shows, I May Destroy You and wait, no, is that the one I'm thinking of? It's the one with Michaela Cole.
I don't know. But,
okay. But that was
someone's
also
shouting at their iPhone right now. So
I know. Yes. Anyway, I think I May Destroy You.
I think you should leave.
They both have the word may. Oh shit. Okay, never mind. Then I'm right. Anyway, it just seems like they have a different space for stand-up comics in Britain than we do here, where it's just like keeps slugging it out and hoping some streamer pays for the hour that you spent $30,000 putting on video. You know what I mean?
Right. Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yep. Oh well. I mean,
oh well. I have country.
Oh well, stand-up comedy, still get to play.
Yeah.
And so, so there's that. I am looking forward. There's some gig in Hancock Park. I'm doing a set called Whip It, and a thing called Whip It something.
Oh yeah, that's familiar.
And then I think I have a set at the Improv this week, and that's it so far. Oh, except for that, we're doing it tomorrow night because we're recording this on the Monday.
Yeah.
On the Tuesday, it'll be over, but we're doing our monthly or bi-monthly Flappers show, and it'll be really good. I want to call and make sure everybody's coming. Lisa Curry and Helen Hong, Katie Hughes, and Kimberly Clark, and then you and I. Correct?
Kimberly Clark just released an album, or she just recorded her album, and at the Lyric, I think.
Oh, neat.
Sounds like it went really well. There were just a lot of there's a lot of buzz about it, so I'm excited to
good.
see her. I wonder if she's already dumped all that material, or fuck
God,
it,
I
I
hope
never want
not.
to tell these jokes again.
That would, I'd like to see 15. That I'd like to see 10 for that 10 of her 10 favorite, and then 5 new. Should I ask
Yeah.
her? That's what I'll ask her tomorrow.
Yes.
Can you do
I
your
love
10
it.
favorite from the special, and then 5 new? She's like, well, I was gonna do 10 new and
15
5,
favorite.
and yeah, do whatever you want. Do whatever you
Yeah,
want,
can I
kid.
do whatever I want? Because
Yeah, you can.
I'm not
Turns
being
out.
paid to take your suggestions.
Right. That is also a point. Point of order. Point of order. What other? So if there was a Joan Rivers green room at Sherry, who were the other women?
I
Is it the
saw
same two?
Marsha Warfield. I saw her name on
Oh,
something.
good.
And maybe Rosie O'Donnell, I think. I'm not really
Okay.
sure. And then
Mom's Mabley.
I didn't see Moms, but I was also, focusing on myself, Jackie, so I didn't go look in all the other dressing rooms.
Right. Yeah. I wouldn't mind. I know, like when you look back on history and you know that there were women at all of the most important, like, historical moments, but nobody knows their names.
Right.
That's what I think of when I see a history of stand-up comedy
I know.
book. I'm always like, oh, I wish I knew which, but I don't know any of the women. I don't know any of the women.
And neither
So,
do the
I mean,
guys writing about stand-up comedy.
right. And they're doing a lot of research, but they aren't doing a lot of research looking for the women, which is a disappointment to
They
me.
have to be completely reminded. Sometimes I listen to conversations with male comics on podcasts, and when they're talking their shorthand and they're only mentioning other male comics that have influenced, it's just like, oh, when you guys really get together, it really is just about that you guys bounce off of each other. You don't consider women women comics aren't factored into your
Right. And
brain
if it's a
about
couple
who's
of white
great, who's a
guys, it's going to be
colleague.
straight
Yeah.
white guys. It's just going to be, and then occasionally they might mention a great black guy.
Oh, they'll do Pryor just to cover their asses. Yeah. Right.
Oh,
But then,
I had never heard Pryor. Like, I haven't heard any of the old albums because I didn't grow up on it, right? So, like, I've never heard most of Bill Cosby's albums. I've heard a couple of his bits. I've actually never heard a whole album. I've seen a couple of short sets of George Carlin's. I've never seen Steve Martin. I don't.
Did you ever listen to Bob Newhart's The Button Down Mind?
No.
Wow.
I've heard some clips with the phone thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's great to listen to when you're driving. It's because well, I just heard this maybe it was on Marin, but it was written, basically they were radio bits, and he performed them for the first time when he did the album. But they all work audibly completely. He's not doing any act outs you need to see. You don't have to visualize hip thrusts or chair humping.
I used to have a closer that was just a straight, pure Bob Newhart style ripoff of a bit, where it's just the two back and forth, and it was crazy how well it would always work.
Oh, really? Wow. Yeah.
There was some woman who did the phone. Jason Klamm, Klamm, used to do a podcast where you would pick a favorite comedy album.
On vinyl.
I wonder what the heck the name of that podcast was. I did it. Comedy on Vinyl. That was it. And I was like, I've never heard anything. He was like, well, then let me give you a selection of comics to pick from, and then I'll send you the MP3 of it, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. And one of them was a woman her album was released like 2 years before Buttoned Up.
Oh.
And she had a telephone bit like that.
Was it Rusty Warren?
I don't know. Maybe that sounds familiar, but
she just passed away, Rusty Warren. Yeah.
Okay.
She had all like the Knockers, Tits Up, all those titles. I don't know.
Well, if you got a rack, you got to use it, unless you are self-conscious of your rack, which is what I've always had. So I do wish, Rusty Warren, maybe that was her. Maybe I'll look it up.
No, I'm writing down if you've got a rack, then
maybe
use it
Kyle's
unless you're
looking it up right
self-conscious
now.
around
We don't know.
about your rack like
Yeah,
I am
and
as a episode quote.
It's a great episode quote, you guys. Speaking of which, I'm going to go eat some French onion soup that I made.
Okay.
You're great.